What's going on, everyone? So this topic I kind of stole from somebody. So shout out to Brutality. If you guys don't know Brutality, especially if you love Gears of War, I don't know what you're doing with your life because she's a huge gearhead. She has a YouTube channel. She has this really cool creative series called Pixels and Pints. It's where she talks about a random topic about gaming and then she has a beer to go along with it. And I mean, what's cooler than that? It's something I wish I would have thought of. But yeah, shout out to Brutality. I'm going to go ahead and use one of your topics that you did for an episode. I thought it was really, interesting to think about. And that is, did the games we played as kids influence the games we played now? And when I think about Gears of War, I'm going to go ahead and get this one out the way. Because, this is one of the most recent franchises that I've loved. I kind of get stuck. I don't really know how to link it to the games I played before. Because when I was younger, I could not play violent shooters. My mom would not allow it. Like, we'd get away with it sometimes if I was at my uncle's and playing on his systems, but I could never own them. An example of that is that when we got our 64, my dad got it used from his friend, and it came with all these games, right? And GoldenEye was one of those games. And I remember very vividly that when I was playing GoldenEye, my mom walked in and she saw it and she was like, nope, you're selling that. That is not going to stay here. That's it. You're not playing that anymore. And that was it. We had to sell it and I never owned it again. I was able to play the game elsewhere, but at home I could not have the game. So when it came to violent shooters, which is something I consider Gears of War, obviously it's gory, it's violent, it's got all these crazy locusts in there, there's blood everywhere, you could use a chainsaw. I mean, come on. What gets more gory than that? So when I think about it, it's like, man, okay, so I didn't get to play these violent shooters very much, but maybe I had this like rebellious side of me that always wanted to, and because my mom wouldn't let me, it was like I kind of yearned for it, maybe? If I had to pick one franchise that I played as a kid and was able to play, that would be Contra. And that I think I can link to Gears of War because Contra had the guns, it had the buff guys, it had the crazy monsters, especially in Contra 3, Alien Wars. That was my favorite one. The music was awesome, and that was kind of like our Gears of War back then, if I really think about it. So yeah, definitely, I think I would link Contra to Gears of War and why I love it, so much. So that's kind of what comes to mind when I think about Gears of War. But lately I've noticed that I've kind of strayed away from shooters and I've kind of gone back to adventure games, action RPG games, and I think that when I look at my whole gaming career, if you want to call it that, my whole lifetime, I always was into action RPGs, like Zelda, for example. Zelda comes up immediately when I think about this because Zelda, it was just amazing, especially Ocarina of Time. That was my favorite, it still is. And I obsessed over that game, and I think the whole concept with Zelda, the whole, finding treasure and finding the weapons you need for a specific part and finding the map and then getting the map and then you go throughout the map and then you find all this other stuff. That mystery of what's behind the door, what's in this chest, what is this weapon going to do and how is it going to open the next thing and how am I going to get through this puzzle and all of that. That I think influences me the most when it comes to gaming, because when I play games now, like Bloodborne, for example, Dragon Age, The Witcher, which I need to go back to, but these action, RPGs where you find treasure and you find a certain thing and you get a certain weapon and you can't go through this door yet because you have to do this puzzle or things like that. I think I love that stuff, and that definitely comes from Zelda, because Zelda, like I said, I mean, it was all about that mystery and that mystery boss and how I'm gonna get there and all the secrets that I can find and collect and all of that. And that is something that I think has stayed with me the most, because even though I played shooters and I played these other genres, fighters and stuff like that when I was a kid, they didn't stick like Zelda did. Even Metroid to an extent. And with Metroid, there's a lot of, okay, you can't get through this door yet because you don't have that gun. Go find that gun. And that's very appealing to me. I love that. There's challenge in that. It's just one of those series that I freaking love. So Zelda, Metroid, What else? What else did I play? I didn't play like any Final Fantasy and things like that. No JRPGs. I'm talking just games like Zelda, because Zelda was really the furthest in the RPG world that I went. I did not like those hardcore RPGs where it was tons of dialogue and then yeah, it was turn-based action. You couldn't just get in there guns blazing or just start fighting. I wanted to fight. I wanted to have that action and just get in there, you know? And JRPGs and things like that, just it didn't appeal to me because of that. And then I also wanted to point out that I like linear games. I know some people don't. They don't like that chapter to chapter and then there's a boss. I like that stuff. I grew up on Contra, so I love the whole, you know, you get through one level, get to the boss, get through another level, get to another boss. I just like that. And also Castlevania was huge for me as well, so I loved Castlevania a lot. So, you know, I think that's why I love Bloodborne so much, because it has that dark kind of Dracula feel and that whole, just with the castles, and it's just, I love that stuff. I love that whole environment. So definitely those games come up as well. But if I thought about it more, I bet I could come up with a whole list of just everything that I played and then how it kind of influences now. Everything from Tetris to Ninja Turtles to Battletoads to the arcades that I was playing, like freaking the Simpsons game. I mean, the list would just go forever, and it'd be awesome to really put them down and then link them to what I'm playing now, but ain't nobody got time for that. But anyways, you guys, I just wanted to throw up this quick video. Tell me what you guys think. What is some games that you grew up on that you think influenced the games you play now? It's interesting to think about. It might give you some perspective on why you play the games you do. You know, some people want to criticize other people for only playing shooters or for only playing certain games, but really maybe it's what they grew up on that kind of shapes them that way. It's just the way it is, you know, and it's pretty cool to think about. So yeah, thanks for watching, you guys, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Peace.